The County of Orange and the state of California are at odds over how much it costs to keep state prisoners in county jails.
Reporter David Nazar joins us now with all the details. Hi, David.
Ed and Ann, OC Sheriff Sandra Hutchens says she's very concerned with the additional costs the county is taking on with regards to things like housing, probation, and medical care for prisoners. Prisoners who are the byproduct of realignment, or AB 109 as it's more commonly known. A 2011 U.S. Supreme Court ruling said California's prisons were severely overcrowded, causing needless suffering and death. The court ordered the inmate population reduced by more than 30,000. That prompted Assembly Bill 109. The bill lowers the number of state prisoners by sending newly convicted lower-level offenders to county jails rather than state prisons. The law also shifts responsibility from these lower-risk parolees or nonviolent offenders to county probation departments. Orange County Sheriff Sandra Hutchens says it's too early to determine whether AB 109 is working. However, the sheriff says one thing's for certain: the state isn't covering enough of the cost for these inmates.
I can say for this past fiscal year, we're $10 million short of what it cost us to house our AB 109 population. So we are looking towards and working towards and doing some of these alternative programs, but it's just going to take, some time for counties to get there.
Sheriff Hutchens explains just a few reasons why her department needs the extra $10 million.
Really, it's the staffing, the additional staffing that we have to have for our increased population. I have about 1,000 AB 109 inmates that I wouldn't have otherwise. So medical is a huge concern. As you know, at the state level, medical care was a big issue and the cost of that. So the counties are experiencing that as well. Some of the counties are experiencing prisoner litigation. This is, in the sense of litigation, this is a more sophisticated population. They like to sue. They have prisoner rights advocates. The same ones that sued the state for overcrowding and lack of medical care are now suing counties. Riverside, Fresno have both been sued, and we're concerned about that, and that also increase your costs.
The sheriff says the state is not covering the cost to incarcerate prisoners. Hutchens says the county has had to pay for the shortfall out of the general fund, and that's also been a challenge, trying to get extra money from the OC Board of Supervisors.
I have to explain, why I need that funding to keep the jails open, and without that funding, we would have to do something else. And this county is not a county in support, neither am I, of doing early release or anything like that, or not accepting bookings.
In a phone interview, Dana Seamus with the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation says Orange County, like other counties throughout California, is given funding the state feels is appropriate.
In fiscal year 2011-2012, Orange County received over $12.7 million. This last fiscal year, 2012-2013, Orange County received $57.45 million. And in next fiscal year, they will receive $67.8 million to help with the transition and realignment.
Does the state agree that it is somewhat taxing, it is taking a toll on respective counties when they take these prisoners due to realignment and try to integrate them into these various counties with all the services?
Well, public safety realignment is unprecedented. It's one of the largest public safety shifts in California's history. We didn't expect it to go without a few bumps, and it's going to be a huge transition for everyone involved. But as things are going now, and as experts are analyzing the data that has been being collected, so far realignment seems to be going as it should be.
If we don't get the money we need from the state, we have to ask from the general fund.
And if you don't get that?
If we don't get that, then we're in serious trouble.
The goal of AB 109 is not just to reduce overcrowded state facilities, it's also about rehabilitating inmates. Now, part of that is having enough money to get former inmates into places like sober living homes, domestic violence programs, and faith-based volunteer organizations. Of course, Ed and Ann, that takes money also, and Sheriff Hutchens said she'd like to get to the point where she can kind of have the county offer all the necessary programming without really having to rely on the state itself.
All right, very good. Thanks a lot, David.